noches, Pibes. Welcome to the episode number 2 of the Natty Plus podcast brought to you by Los Pibes del Barrio. In this episode, we'll be talking about La Liga, Serie A, and just go over some of the transfers that is going on this winter. To start off, let's talk about La Liga. So let's look at the table. Right now, we have Barcelona first with 16 games, 41 points. Then we have Real Madrid, only 3 points away from Barcelona. Real Sociedad and Real Betis are third and fourth. They're pretty far behind from Barcelona and Real Madrid. Real Sociedad is 9 points from Barcelona, and Real Betis is 13 points. So I think that this year the title for La Liga race is gonna be between Barcelona and Real Madrid. I really don't see any other team putting a fight for these two. Atletico Madrid has been a disappointment this season. They're fifth right now, 14 points away from Barcelona, 11 points away from Real Madrid. And then a surprise that is really surprising just because this team has been pretty steady on staying on fourth place is Sevilla. Sevilla right now has hit rock bottom. They are 17th place with 16 games played, only 3 wins, 6 ties, and 7 losses with 15 points. They are actually tied with Cadiz, and Cadiz is in relegation spot. So they are only one spot away from relegation, and they're fighting for it. It's surprising because at first their squad compared to mid-table down is way more expensive than the rest of those teams that are below the 12th place, and and they only managed to have 3 wins this entire season. Their form is not really great. They just won their second game at home this whole season, and they really hope that Sampaoli can do something with this team and get them away from relegation, because if Sevilla hits relegation, that will be an epic moment, because let's not forget they are 4-time Europa League champions. So they're a big team that is right now in a really tough spot. So let's see how it goes. They still have 18 games to play. There's a lot of La Liga left, but right now they're sitting at 17th place, tying with relegation teams in points. Now jumping to the next topic of La Liga, we're gonna recap Barca and Atletico Madrid. I'm just gonna give you a little rundown of what I felt the game was like, and then 3 things that I got from it. It was an intense game, back and forth, a lot of defending from both sides. Barca dominated the first 30 minutes of the game, but then they kind of went down. After the goal, they kind of went down, and Atletico Madrid started attacking more. Just to tell you, Atletico Madrid had 5 shots on target the whole game. Barca only had 2. That's to tell you how the game went. In the first half that I remember, there was only one clear chance for Atletico Madrid, which was saved by Ter Stegen, a shot from Griezmann. Ter Stegen always coming to save us. And then in the second half, they really didn't have much. They did not create a clear attacking option or attacking play. The only clear chance that they have was at the end of the game when Araujo saved the goal in the line. It was an amazing play from Atletico Madrid where Griezmann finished it, but thank God Capi Araujo was right there. So that save literally gave Barca the 3 points. Overall, was an okay game. It wasn't really interesting in the fact that there was not a lot of action, but it was, it's a tough game because we're talking about 2 of the best teams of La Liga. So 3 things that we got from this game was first, Barca needs another killer forward. There is not a clear backup 9 for that can step up for when Lewandowski is not there, and that is really bad for a team like Barcelona. There has to be a backup plan when Lewandowski either gets injured or gets suspended, because if not, then Barca is gonna be in a lot of trouble when Lewandowski is not there. Lewandowski cannot be the only solution. We have to have more solutions, or Barca has to have more solutions. We can see the squad, and we can see that there is different options that we can choose from when Lewandowski is not there, but Ansu Fati is not it. Ferran is less it. Ferran has been a complete disappointment. And then Memphis Depay doesn't have the trust from Xavi. So what Barca needs to do is open up the checkbook and sign a top number 9 for this transfer window, because we need another solution besides Lewandowski. We cannot depend fully on Lewandowski, because we don't know if he's gonna get injured, if he's gonna get suspended. Hopefully not, but that's something that Barca needs to take care of. Number 2, Araujo, El Guardián Culé. El Capi is back. After 2 months of injury before the World Cup, El Capitan is back. He's such an important part of La Chavineta. I think he's one of our key players and will be one of our key players for the next, hopefully, 10 years that he stays with us. He kept the defense compact against Atletico Madrid. He gave security in the back, and once again, he saves a goal in the line. This is the second time that he does saving the line after he came back. The thing is that he started 2 games and he has saved us 2 games. So we can see how determined and how important is Araujo for this Barcelona squad. He really is the reincarnation of Puyol. He's our new Puyol, our new Tarzan, our new Guardian. El Capi is back. Araujo, Charrúa. Number 3, los huevos de Gavi, mi gente. Los huevos de Gavi, Dios mío. Give me Gavi every single time. Every game, he fights for the ball. His intensity on and off the ball is unquestionable, and always gives an option to Barca on attack. And keep this in mind, he's only 18. He is the real deal. To me, he is Barca's number 10. To me, he's the real Barca number 10. Now, jumping to another game that we have this past weekend for La Liga, we have Villareal versus Real Madrid. Villareal beat Real Madrid 2-1. It was a game full of controversy for handballs. So the first one was a PK given to Real Madrid where Pau Torres touched it with his hand. I really think that it's a soft PK, just because the movement of his hand it looks natural, but based on the referee book or on the rules, if the hand takes or makes your body bigger than usual or bigger than normal, then it's a handball that it has to be called. It is taking a space that normally you wouldn't take with another part of your body, but it's really soft based on the movement that he's doing while defending. But then we have the second questionable or the second controversy that was created from handballs in this game, and that was Alaba's handball. They said that it was a handball because he was supporting his body from falling, right? But we need to compare this handball to the handball that was called to Jimenez in the World Cup when Uruguay plays Portugal. Because if you guys recall, that PK was given to Portugal and it was a hand used to support his light tackle. So if FIFA is going to implement VAR needs to be consistent in all competitions. So if we call the handball for Jimenez, we have to call this handball for Alaba, because both scenarios are very much the same. So I really think that it was a PK because they called it with Jimenez. If Jimenez would have not got that PK, then I would have said, okay, it wasn't a PK, because to be honest, I don't think that without VAR or without this new era of handballs, I don't think it was a PK, but we need to be consistent. So they gave Jimenez a PK, so they should call a PK for Alaba on this one. So that's my thought on the handball. At the end of the day, VAR needs to create consistency. If not, then it's going to create a big question of when it's a handball or when it's not. And then to finish, we have a Clásico, otra final de Clásico Supercopa Española, Real Madrid versus Barcelona, this Sunday coming up. Last 5 Clásico games, Real Madrid has won 4, Barca has only won 1. So there is a clear fact that Real Madrid is being more dominant right now versus Barcelona. But the only win that Barcelona has is a 4-0 win in El Bernabeu. Real Madrid hasn't beat Barcelona for more than one goal, and the only win that Barcelona has is 4-0. So it was a really dominant win. Both teams come in great forms, but the difference, and I think that's gonna play a big role, is that Barca is not being consistent in closing down their games. They always start the game by winning, but then they're not able to close down the games. And Real Madrid, it might be a team that take a can take advantage of that. We also have a big clash, Lewandowski versus Karim Benzema. So it's gonna be a really great game to watch. I'm excited for it. Obviously, I have Barca winning. I think 3-1 is gonna be the result. That is it to finish La Liga. Just a quick rundown. We do have a Supercopa Española this weekend, so Barcelona and Real Madrid do not play this weekend. There is gonna be some La Liga games, but the main teams are not gonna be playing this weekend. The second section of this episode is gonna be Serie A. So for the Serie A, let's start with the table. So we have Napoli actually first with 44 points, and then second we have Juventus with 37, as well as Milan, which is third with 37 points. To finish up the top four, we have Inter with 34 points. Napoli is having a dream season, finishing first in the UCL group stage, beating Liverpool, and also being leaders in the domestic league. They have only lost one game out of the 17 games played, and they have 14 wins and 2 ties. This Friday we have a really interesting game for the title race. So Napoli receiving Juventus. Juventus is only 7 points away from Napoli. So if they win this game, they put themselves 4 points from Napoli. Where if Napoli wins, they take a big step on the title race, being 10 points away from Juventus. And if Milan loses, 10 points away from them. So it's gonna be a really decisive game from both sides. It's gonna be a test from Napoli, which we've seen before. They are a really great team, but they don't have the hierarchy that Juventus and Milan and Inter will have. We have to see that Napoli is able to, stay in track and win every game needed to win the Scudetto. So this Friday, Napoli has a big chance to put themselves 10 points away from their competition and make a statement for the race for the Scudetto, to put themselves in a comfortable position for the remaining of the season. Then we have Milan versus Roma. That was a really interesting game. I actually watched only the second half, but it was the most intense half from both. Milan was up 2-0. Then in the last 3 minutes from the corner kick came Roma's 2 goals. Milan led the 3 points escape, which would have put them only 5 points away from Napoli. Now they're 7 points away. They need Juventus to win on Friday so they can win as well and put themselves 4 points away from Napoli and have a chance for the Scudetto. I really think that the race for this Scudetto is gonna be between Milan, Juventus, and Napoli, but that's only if Napoli allows them to be. That's it for Serie A. On Friday we'll know more about how the Scudetto race is gonna be. For the next part of the episode, which is the last part, we're gonna discuss some of the transfer windows or the official transfers that have been confirmed. The main one is gonna be Joao Felix to Chelsea for 11 million for the remaining of the season and a full salary pay. Also, Atletico Madrid has extended his contract for another year. That's gonna be a really interesting move, just because Joao Felix is a really decisive player. He hasn't been having the best season for Atletico Madrid. It might be because his relationship with Simeone is not the best. But if we look at stats, he's actually the third more decisive players when it comes to goals and assists in La Liga, behind Benzema and Dembele. Comparing the minutes that he plays with the goals and assists that he has for Atletico Madrid, he is the most decisive player for Atletico Madrid this season, even by not being a lineup player. Chelsea needed this player because this is a player that it can change a game. It can change a game from 0 to 100. So I really think that Joao Felix is gonna deliver. is gonna have an amazing second half of his season, and is gonna help Chelsea clinch the European spot, which I have him getting fifth place. So I hope that Joao Felix does well. I have Joao Felix scoring probably 10 goals for this remaining of the season, which is the form that he had when he was signed for Atletico Madrid, when he scored 20 goals and 11 assists. So I think he's aiming for that, and if Chelsea gives him the confidence that he needs, he will definitely deliver for Le Bleu. And then we have also Weghorst, which is the player that scored two golazos for Holland against Argentina in the quarterfinals. He is signing for Man United for 3 million. To be honest, he delivered for Holland, so I really think that he's gonna be a really good backup player for Manchester United to have in the squad. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he can give to Man U, but I think it's a safe bet that he's gonna be sub, and it's gonna be the sub that can maybe guarantee you a goal from a corner kick or a free kick. And then the last one that was confirmed yesterday was Mateus Cunha for 50 million euros. Is official. Wolf will activate the purchase option, and they will buy Mateus Cunha from Atletico Madrid for 50 million. Um, he assisted yesterday. I think that Mateus Cunha can be a good player, but at the same time, he's still a little raw. He still has a lot of expectations that he has to fulfill. So it's a really tough gamble for Wolves that have been having really crappy transfer windows. So I really hope that Wolves can hit the jackpot with this one, but it's a 50-50. And that is it for today's Los Pibes. We'll be having another episode next week, so stay tuned. Gracias por escucharme. I hope you guys have a great day. Vamos Los Pibes.